One of the biggest games on the planet, which everybody will be watching across the world this coming Sunday, is Manchester United against Liverpool. So this being Monday Night Football, we'll give it a twist. What's the best combined 11 of these two sides? Well, we did find agreement between these two, and that's no great surprise because Liverpool have been such a dominant force. Well, certainly when we're considering these two teams in recent years. So 8 are agreed upon. Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Robertson in the back 4. The midfield is Liverpool as well. Henderson, Fabinho, Salah and Mane make up 2 of the forward positions, and we've got 3 gaps. So, Jamie, I think you're going to go first. Let's have a look at your combined 11. The 3 players that you differ to Gary on look like this. Matip at the back, Bruno Fernandes and Mason Greenwood. Matip first.
Yeah, I mean, possibly in the last 12 months, go back a little bit further, I'd have to put Harry Maguire in there. I'm a huge Harry Maguire fan. He's a really good player. It's nothing to do with his performance at the weekend. But I actually think Matip has possibly been, not being Liverpool's best player, that's been Salah, but he's probably actually been better than Virgil van Dijk this season. And he's a player who goes under the radar because he's not a huge name. He's coming on a free transfer. He's been there a long time under Jurgen Klopp. He's had injury problems. But every time he plays, he's top class. He really is, and that partnership with Virgil van Dijk at this minute is really good. It is, and listen, I could have gone for Harry Maguire, but I just thought that the performances he's given, certainly in these probably last 18 months, he was the centre-back who played in the Champions League final for Liverpool, so it's not a guy who's just come in now. He's always associated with not playing for Liverpool. It's always Gomez and Van Dijk. But as I said, he's played in so many big games. This season, he's almost been an ever-present. It's been fantastic.
How would Bruno Fernandes improve Liverpool?
Well, he would give them goals from midfield. I'm not saying he's maybe the exact midfielder that a Jurgen Klopp team would have in terms of sort of energy and pressing and being disciplined. We've seen clips today. But he's been a brilliant signing for Manchester United. I think he's elevated them over the last couple of years. He's been there. And one thing Liverpool's midfield has never really had, whether it will ever have the way the team's set up, really, maybe that's down to the manager, is goals and assists from a midfield position. And yeah, I think he's one of the standout players in the Premier League, and his numbers show that. What are you laughing at?
Just writing a list of all the centre-forwards that you've missed out of your team.
Centre-forwards?
Yeah, so Jota, Firmino, Cavani, Ronaldo, and instead it's Mason Greenwood.
Well, it was always going to be Salah, Mane and one other. And I'm a massive Greenwood fan. I think he's a superstar. I really do. Listen, how can you not put Ronaldo in terms of what he's done? A legendary thing. When I'm talking about actually right now, today, I'd have to have Greenwood. Whether that was Greenwood on the right and you put Salah up front, maybe. I mean, obviously, Firmino got a hat-trick the weekend. He's done really well for Liverpool for a long time. But I just think over the last, sort of going back last season, even his role this season for Greenwood, I think he's a superstar and I had to find a place for him in there.
It's probably no prizes for guessing who you've gone for as your centre-forward, but let's have a look. Yep, it's Ronaldo, so we'll start there.
It wasn't easy, but I just thought the idea that I think he's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time. And with Salah and Mane, I thought he should be up front in the two teams. I think you would have him up front because I think that ultimately in that type of team with Fabinho, Henderson behind, with Firmino behind, and those two wide, he would be absolutely devastating.
So you do need a balance if you've got Ronaldo up front in midfield?
He asked me to pick the best team of both teams. United haven't got players like that, unfortunately. They haven't got a Fabinho. They haven't got a Henderson.
Let me ask you, Jamie, do you think Ronaldo would get in the Liverpool team?
No.
You agree with that?
I'm talking about Jurgen Klopp.
Obviously, I disagree with it.
No, I don't think Jurgen Klopp would pick Ronaldo if he had what we were picking now. That's the headline, isn't it, for the weekend? He's going to get the winner, isn't he?
You know that Manchester United are going to beat Liverpool on Sunday, and that's a fact, and he knows it, by the way.
But interestingly, when Jamie goes for Bruno Fernandes, you go for Firmino.
Yeah, do you know something? That was the most difficult one. But do you know something? I refuse to disrespect Firmino and what I've seen for 3, 4, 5 years, because that front three have been out of this world, and he always is the one that seems to sort of get pushed away. But the work in possession and out of possession that he does on behalf of the team is unbelievable. And he keeps getting, not disrespect, that's the wrong word. He gets respected, of course he gets respected. I don't believe he ever really gets the sort of full respect that he deserves for his performances and how he dovetails with the midfield, how he dovetails with the two wide players, how he fills back in big games and drops onto City midfield players for opposition. He does the donkey work when the team need it. He never stops trying to win the ball back and get high press. To me, he's just the type of player that I would say that needs to be the team if you've got Ronaldo up front, because I think you need someone who's that workhorse in behind you, but also can connect the midfield to the front. I think he does it really well.
Centre-back, what do you think of Jamie's pick? Matip.
Look, at the end of the day, I mean, he sees Matip a lot more than I do. I've seen Matip a lot over the last 12 to 18 months. I think that with the centre-half he's playing alongside, to be fair, I think you could honestly put him alongside Van Dijk.
Now or when I was playing?
Now. No, I think you put him alongside Van Dijk now. You can put him alongside Van Dijk now and he'd do half okay. Van Dijk is that good. So let's be clear about Van Dijk. Van Dijk is unbelievable. So I think Matip will always look half good alongside. That's not disrespecting him. I think Harry Maguire alongside Lindelof at Manchester United in the last 2 or 3 years, I think he fully did. I mean, he had a bad game on Saturday, but then we've all had those games. He definitely deserves to be the centre-back partner of Van Dijk out of the ones that I've seen. Varane, obviously, we've not seen enough of him yet to put him into that team. So obviously, he's been a brilliant centre-half and is a great centre-half. But I would put Harry Maguire in alongside Van Dijk just because of what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years.
Do you think Varane will prove to be a good signing for Manchester United ultimately?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope that them two, and along with Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, can sort themselves out and become a really top back four. I mean, that is the absolute intention. I've been crying for 2-3 years for a partner for Harry Maguire. And if they can't make it work with Varane, then there's a real problem.
What's your team for the weekend for Man United?
Do you know my gut feeling? My gut feeling is to demand... I don't know what's going to happen against Atalanta on Wednesday evening. That's the challenge. But part of me just thinks somehow that I'm sure all is flip-flopping in his mind in terms of what he does, how he attacks. There's an element of almost wanting to see that Leicester team go back out again. I say, go on, I trust in you.
Oh, please.
No,
Please.
No, seriously. There's an element of Sancho, he's got to get him right. Greenwood's in the best form of the lot. Bruno's staying in with Ronaldo. And then you think to yourself, are you going to drop Pogba for Fred or McTominay? Or he's not. And I just think there's an element of get that 11 that played on Saturday and get them to go and beat Liverpool. And that would be the biggest message that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could send. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that. He might go Lingard, Rashford, McTominay and Fred and go like workhorses and think that we'll have them that way.
What would you do, I asked?
I think I'd probably go with the same team against Leicester and say I'm expecting more from you. And I think you can beat Liverpool.